Hey everyone, Sycra here, and today I am interviewing the artist Reiq, who is an amazing artist who's probably most well known for his girl drawings, but that's not all he does. He's also a great character designer, and I mean, this guy, he draws everything. So welcome, Reiq. Thanks
Yeah.
for being
How you
here.
doing?
I'm doing good. So,
Oh, tell me. Tell me.
that guy's cool. Um, so, how did you start in art?
How do I start in art? Like in art in general, or
Yeah,
just like my,
when did you pick up a pencil the first time, or a crayon, and start drawing?
mm, well, I think like any other kid that likes to draw, it's like a natural thing to draw. And my dad used to draw, and maybe I got some influence from him. Like he used to draw cars and stuff like that. So I kind of like to, at the time when I was a kid, draw cars and stuff like that. But I guess with the time, I was more like liking it more the drawing and everything. But for me, it was a little bit later on. Many artists say that they are always draw from like where they were like a kid and stuff like that. But for me, I just draw like whenever I wanted, and I never thought that like oh my god, I have such passion. I want to spend all my childhood drawing. So it was not like that. I was more like playing outside, like any other kid, and drawing like passion came up later on, like after 15 years or 15 years old. After that, I got
Wow.
interested in doing that.
So, what was your dad's job then?
Well, my dad is still doing kind of the same stuff. Now he's an economist. Like he nothing related to art, but I guess he wanted to do art, but at the time, he's not a proper career, or I don't know. Maybe he didn't. I think he didn't think about that as a proper career, more like a hobby or something like that. But yeah, he liked to do it once in a while.
Hmm. Oh, so his job wasn't drawing cars.
No, he working for Motors as economist, but he designed the cars for himself, to have
Oh, okay.
a nice drawing like cars with big wheels and fire and really like 80s style, like really like they're like huge cars with big wheels and
Yeah, like hot rods or
fire.
something.
Exactly.
Yeah, cool. So did you follow and start to draw cars with him, or did you do
No,
your
no,
own thing?
that's something that is there, but there's nothing like I'm like, oh my god, because of my dad, I started drawing. He was there. Probably that was something that was inside my brain there, like, oh yeah, my dad used to draw, and maybe be the reason why I started going more to drawing than anything else.
So, what influenced you as a kid in terms of art? Was it like animation, comics, or video games, or?
Actually, nothing like that. I guess as I know any other kid, I used to watch the shows like Thundercats and Ninja Turtles and all that. But for me, it was just a show and that's it. Like, I didn't have like I didn't spend my time drawing any other characters or anything like that. And it's just like probably later on, as I'm saying, because I was not like like drawing all the time, cartoons and all that. I was more like in my bike, going around the neighborhood, playing some video games and playing basketball. I used to love playing basketball. So I used to draw people playing basketball or cars, like Bigfoot cars. And it went through stages. Sometimes as I grew up, I started like drawing like Beavis and Butthead or Ren and Stimpy. Because my friends like it and I like the show, so it was more like having fun. And people always say, "Oh, you draw really good. I can draw another one." Yeah, sure. So it was more like a social thing, I guess, when you are like a kid, and then you get somebody, oh, that's cool. And then you're, oh, right, yeah, and just keep drawing. No, you're kind of like, okay, yeah, I guess I got something here.
Yeah. So, when did you decide then that you wanted to pursue art as a career, or did you?
Yeah, I kind of wanted to be a comic penciler when I was I don't know, 17 years old probably. I wanted to be a Marvel comic penciler and draw all the amazing comics. I had a big influence at the time. It's Joe Madureira and Carlos Pacheco. That's from 1997, 1998. They had great books there, like, were amazing. And I guess since then I was like getting into all the comics and all that stuff. And I decided to be an artist when I finished studying graphic design, because I really wanted to do it, but I didn't know how to do it. But I said, well, let's see how things are going here, like online with DeviantArt. Let me see how can I start making some commissions or something like that. So that's when I received my first commission. I said, well, it seems like it's something I can do. And I was working already as a professional graphic designer, and I decided to stop doing graphic design and change completely to art. But for that, I have to, actually like work a lot to get like a bunch of money as a, savings, and then jump the boat to the other side. And that's when I started like doing more like art. But it was a really like slow progress. I think 2005 was the time when I decided, well, I really want to do this, and I'm going to focus more of my energy on this. And that was the first time I was starting to use a tablet or something. So I was like motivated about that. And it seems like people really enjoy the work I put it online at the time. And things started taking off through the years.
So what led you to do graphic design? Because you went to school for that, right? You went to school for graphic design?
Yeah, I went to graphic design because first it was really close to my house, like the corner. And I said, well, if there's not anything like illustration career here, and I didn't want to study any of the other careers, like, I don't know, like, I didn't want to do anything of that. I just wanted to be something related to art, and that was the closest things that I had. And I went there for 3 years, and it was amazing, because there I learned to use Photoshop, to use like the basics of design, and I think that was like a base for me to understand how to actually draw certain things, because there was like drawing 1, 2, and 3. There was photography, so I helped for competition, and every time there was a work to do, homework, I tried to do like anime or manga, regardless of the subject. People say like, well, you have to do this, and I said, okay, how can I turn that into something anime and appealing, something that works well, and me, so I can have fun while I do the homework. And that's where I invest most of the time, trying to like learning all the stuff, and like doing that practicing as well. Like I learned a lot, like drawing and stuff like that there, but it was not school for drawing specifically. It was just graphic design and do magazines and websites. But the drawing was there. And I guess that taking those classes in doing graphic design, I got that feeling for like doing more detailed work, or learn how to render better shapes and all that. But that was more like copying realistic styles kind of thing. But yeah, I think it serves as a base. I mean, I think it's not bad to have, if you don't have the option to study illustration, I think graphic design could be a good way to have like something solid. Like if I don't feel like something happened or whatever, I can do graphic design. I have that. It's not something. I have graphic design plus drawing plus illustration, and now it's more illustration and almost no graphic design. But you can make a choice and decide which one is the one you want to go for.
So, and you grew up in Venezuela, right?
Yeah, until 2006. That's when I started traveling around the world.
So you said when you were growing up you weren't influenced by art, but then after you wanted to be a comic artist, how did that happen? When did you get into comics?
It happened because I got sick. Got really, really sick. I had like pneumonia, and I went to the hospital for a week, sleeping in that bed for a week, and the only thing you could watch was morning cartoons, and there was the X-Men animated series of the 90s, and I just fell in love with the X-Men. It was like boom. I was like, okay, I love this, and I have to find comics. I have to find a way to get something of that. And there was a comic book store in my town, really close to my house, and they had the comics. And I went there. I was like, the real comics. I can get them. But they were like, some of them were pretty old, but they were really amazing. But and I got a comic book, and the first comic book I got, I drew almost every page, every character. I just copy and then draw like, because I used like it the drawings. I was like, okay, let's draw. And I put myself as a challenge that every day at least I would draw like a page of like say Wolverine or a panel or composition of panels, and then use that and I used to stick it on the wall of my room. So every day I put 1, 2, 3. So I was like doing my own posters, and I spent a lot of time doing that and copying drawings and I did it more because there was no posters and I wanted to have posters. So I guess I have to do it myself, and I want to draw. So I started drawing all traditional, like with color pencil. I did posters, huge posters, and I used to sell them too. In a comic book store, I started trying to sell them somehow, but it was more because I wanted to show the work. I really didn't want to sell them, but it was more like trying to see what happened with people who might like it or not. And I guess that from that point, I was like, okay, I would like to be a comic pencil artist. I didn't know how was the industry or how it is, and it was more like I want to be a millionaire, kind of like that. So I don't know how, but I guess like with time I figured out, okay, so it works like this, and you have to do this and that. I was like, okay, that's kind of different from where was my imagination. Like, I'm actually it was the 90s, so in the 90s it was still nice to do, like, it was more like the artists were like superheroes. Oh, look at these artists,
yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah, I want to be like Michael Turner or Joe Madureira or this guy or Alex Ross and stuff like that.
That's cool.
That was into.
And then, how did you get into anime then? Or manga?
Into anime. Yeah, manga, anime. It was a few years after that, after drawing all the comics and all that, I had a friend in the school, and he used to bring some Wolverine magazines, and I was like, oh my god, I love the drawings of this guy, and I became friends with him. And then one of those days, he showed me one magazine. It's called Dokkan, and the magazine's from Spain, and it's all about manga anime. And he showed me that magazine. That was like the same that happened with the X-Men. Like, boom! Like every page, I was like, oh, look, all the different styles. This is amazing. Like it doesn't matter which anime it was. I was like in love with the style of the drawing. And then I found Evangelion, and I found like, oh wow, now on TV, instead of Thundercats, I can watch Dragon Ball, I can watch Layers, like Rurouni Kenshin, I can watch like a bunch of anime in the afternoon. So after school, I did homework and then watched like 3 hours of just anime, like non-stop, like, and I love it. I just get into that, and I start collecting all the magazines. And I remember once my dad gave me money to buy clothes, like, okay, so I'll get some money here to buy clothes, and I spend it all in manga. The same day, I just went to the store and like, give me that book, and they were original mangas. And I was like, oh, yeah, amazing, Japanese. Couldn't read Japanese, so I started learning Japanese at the same time, and I became a total otaku. I'm still like big fan of anime. Yes, I am a big fan of the anime and manga, so as well as the comics. But I don't follow I don't read that many comics, but I watch more anime.
So do you read Japanese? You can read Japanese?
Yeah, I went to Japan. I lived there for 2.5 years, and actually I went this year again for 3 months. I studied Japanese for 2 years, and I'm like upper intermediate level. I can speak very well. Like, I can go there, manage myself. I can read the kanjis and go around. And actually today I'm practicing again. I got my books there and trying to go back to read. And I'm spending time again to see if I can finish the Japanese and get something really nice. But yeah.
Wow, that's great. Yeah, I never got beyond kanji. Like, I learned hiragana and katakana, and then when it got to kanji, I'm like, screw it. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't the same. Yeah.
So after while you're in graphic design, you're pursuing your anime thing as well, like drawing that. But how did you start to get online then?
Let me see. Because I was studying graphic design, I was learning how to make websites using Flash and DreamWorks and CorelDRAW, Photoshop, and one of the projects of the class was to make a website, and I decided, well, I want to make my own website, and I was interested to build my website because I saw all these artists, and I want to have that too. And I remember I used like Windows. There was a Windows page or something like that, really old software.
From
your website.
page.
Exactly, and I started doing that by my own website with little funky buttons and stuff like that, learning how to do rollovers and everything. So, like, because of that website, I started putting my drawings and start sharing putting my work online and everything. And I guess as being online, I started using DeviantArt and using like Shadownest at the time. There was another one, conceptart.org. It's still alive, but there was another website that closed. And yeah, I guess that because the graphic design, I wanted to make an image of myself, and that's one of the things of graphic design. The last year, you have to make your portfolio, you have to make your logo. That's where my logo came from, because I had to design my own logo, my own image, my own stuff. And that's kind of like I learned, okay, I can do that. Then I have to be an artist, but I have to promote myself, and I have to spend time doing that, so show what I can do, and share the work. Because I spend all the time drawing in my room, and I wanted to share, and we get to meet other artists. In Venezuela, they didn't have any other friends that could draw. Well, only one. I wanted to meet more people related to that.
So you already had like a brand right in the beginning, and you knew about branding. And
yeah, they say you have to do your logo, and I was like, okay, let's do Reiq, because it's Reiq is Reinaldo, Q is Quintero, easy. Four letters, that's easy to remember, and then the logo, and I'm done. Okay, Reiq is better than Reinaldo Quintero, and so yeah, you said that. And it's easy for a logo, tiny logo to do there.
Yeah. Cool. Where do you get the confidence from to do all these? And did you have any kind of opposition from your parents or friends or anything to pursuing art?
No, I didn't have any problem. Like, in general, my parents are really open-minded. But I live with my mom, and she always helped me with my drawings. I spent time drawing. I said, Mom, can you see this? And what do you think? And my mom, she doesn't draw, but now she does. And she was like, okay, maybe this leg is a little bit shorter, or maybe this head is too big, or what about this area? And I was like, oh shit, I have to change that. So I go back and change the stuff. So I had support, and from my mom, from my sister, even my dad. He was a little bit reluctant to let me be an artist. So he said, well, graphic design, yeah, you can study graphic design. But after the time, after working and showing to him that I can make money, and this is my passion, this is what I want to do, he goes, okay, you can do whatever you want, and I don't get any oppositions or whatever I draw, because that's my life, and they respect that, they don't have to be like, oh, you have to do this or that. I guess they are confident that I have a passion for that, and they say, well, I don't want to be in the middle of that. And I guess that my dad too, because my dad used to draw, and maybe he saw, well, maybe he can do it at this time, this another age, another time, And after the end, he's pretty proud of the stuff I do, regardless of what it is. So,
that's great.
There's no problem in that area.
So you never really had to struggle with self-doubt or anything like this?
Yes, I had, and it was not because of my parents. It was more because I didn't know where to go, how to study, who could help me, and it was difficult. I don't know where to go and learn. I used to copy all my drawings, and then one time I stopped to do copies and said, I'm going to try my own characters, and they came out like garbage. I was like, why does this look like garbage? But I can copy this really well. I should be able to draw something similar. And they're like, no, you actually can draw this crappy drawing. And I'm like, okay, then I need to get better, but how can I get better? So I did, any studying anatomy or gesture drawing or life drawing classes. That never happened through my mind. Draw from life and all that stuff that people have now. I didn't have any of that information, zero. I could only like get information from books, and that I think those were the ones that helped me. And there were no books about training. There were books about like this artist called Terada Katsuya. He had an art book called Painter Bond, and his process using Painter. And I couldn't read Japanese at the time, so I just see all the drawings. Oh, so he does this first, and then the background, and he does that. And same with Masamune Shiro. He had a book in English, and every drawing it says like Photoshop and Painter and 3D, and then so he used this Photoshop to do this, and then I guess I'm gonna learn how to do Photoshop, and I have to do that. So I started like messing up with whatever I could, and yeah, but it was difficult. Like, and then later on, I found like, oh, actually, there's like drawing classes. And that was 2008. That I was like, okay, there's something like this. I didn't even know what it was. But after that, I was like, okay, I have to do gesture drawing. I have to learn how this, and like finally be able to study. So I did all the stuff by myself, and people asked me, "You go to a place to study and all that?" I would say like, "Well, graphic design," but they won't teach you how to draw like sexy girls or how to draw well something. I struggle a lot for the lack of knowledge of where to go or what to do.
Yeah.
Some people help me. I mean, but I guess like a long time passed that I didn't have like direction. I was more like doing my own stuff, but no, but people say, "Oh, it looks pretty good," but I knew that that's not what I want. I want something better and something like better. And I said to myself, if this guy can do it, if this illustrator can do it, this artist can do it, I put my effort and I'll try to make it as close as possible to reach that level. So that's how I kind of like learn by my own way, which it was good, but it was bad because I learned by myself. And when I learn all the rules, fundamentals, and all that, I have to kind of destroy all the stuff I knew before, because there was stuff like you shouldn't draw stuff like that. I was like, okay, now I cannot draw that way because it's not proper, or the arm is not this way. So I was like, okay, I have to like I was building a house, so I have to tear it down and then start building a building, a huge building. So I'm still building that. And
so how did you get into pinups then?
Pinups, well, how did I do? When I was doing graphic design, I got interested in the erotic art. And I think, now that I think about it, I think it was in the Graphic Design Institute, they had a copy of Hajime Sorayama pin up with a snake. And I thought, well, that's pretty sexy. I want to know who is this artist. And after finding Hajime Sorayama, I found Olivia, and I found a bunch of artists from Europe. And I found like another thing that is not manga, and it's not comics, but it's like European comics and erotic comics. I found that Paolo Serpieri is an Italian artist. He draws like amazing butts, like perfect, beautiful. And he has a comic called Druna, and I collected all of those, and I was like, I want to draw like this guy. It's like, look how he draw, like, oh my god. And I got into that, all the sexy latex, and I don't know, like, yeah, I kind of like that thing, like sexy latex and girls and all that. So I was like, yeah, I don't know. And after finding that out, I guess I spent more time drawing girls than anything else.
Yeah, because I only knew that when I first encountered your work. I just thought that's all you drew as girls, and I was like, that's what Reiq is. He's the guy who draws girls. And then I saw like jiggly girls, and I'm like, oh, he does like this stuff too, and more girls. But then I was watching your YouTube channel, and I saw your sketchbook, and it's like, oh, there you were just doing real everyday scenes, people, animals, and all this. I'm like, wow, that's really cool, and I found those really interesting. So is it that girls are what you draw because people like it, or because that's where your fans are, or you really like drawing girls? What do you like to draw, or what would you draw if you had like the freedom to draw whatever you wanted?
I had the freedom to draw whatever I draw.
Yeah.
So I Yeah, I think like drawing the girls, it was how I started because I was telling you like I was into more like pin-ups and erotic art and everything. I started drawing my girls and people like it, and people are asking for commissions because they wanted to see like pin-ups girls and all that. So that was kind of how I started with like growing as an artist. People asking for pin-ups, and I was like, yes, I need the money, I need to pay the rent, I need to survive, I need to eat. So I said, well, yeah, if I can find that, then let's do it. And that was the time when I was learning by myself. So I could only do more girls and try to like improve with each piece. After reaching a certain point and saving enough money, I decided to study and invest in all the stuff I couldn't study before. We and that's the reason why I came here to Pasadena, here in California. And I came here in 2011 and spent 2011 to 2012. I spent a whole year studying in a school called Concept Design Academy in Pasadena, and that's where I learned so many stuff. Like I didn't even know that those things existed, and techniques and artists, and so I took all the classes I could. I actually went to Nomon too. I did 3D for a while. I did ZBrush. I did sculpture, like sculpture for real. I did anatomical studies, storyboarding, character design, sketching for environments, like everything I could take because I really wanted to explore what is available and see what I like. And since then, I learned so many things. Like, well, you actually practice and practice like drawing people. For me, it was more like drawing people. I said people say, "Oh, Ray, you always draw the same head and the same face and all that." I was like, I kind of do. So I guess I have to improve on that. You know, I get the feedback from people, and I was like, oh, I wish I could do like different faces or different stuff like that. And that's how my interest in different styles began. Like I want to learn how to draw like cartoonish. I want to learn how to draw people, and it became something more like now it's something I do every day. I did that today too, like drawing people in the coffee shop, making caricatures, and doing my own girls and all that. I like to do both, but I guess when I do girls, it's more to show what I've learned so far. Because I know how to draw girls already, like I can do this and that, but now I want to take all the knowledge I've learned and then put it there, and then I can see the difference. Well, now before I could do this, now I can do that, or I can go back and check stuff and say, oh man, I should change all of that, I did wrong. And I have done that. Go back to old works and change the colors, the proportions that were wrong, and it's amazing how like a tiny brush, like a stroke, can really change the character and like the solidity of the drawing. So I guess yes, like and now I'm doing more character designs and practicing, different styles, learning. I always learning. I guess I've been studying since 2011. Like every time I can get a chance to take a class, I take it. And the good thing is that I get to meet the artists and I get to build like a community of people who likes to draw and go out and sketch. So it has been something that it has taken time to go there, but now it's finally here, and now I have other goals with my work. So,
Like what?
and I wrote.
What are your other goals?
Uh, hmm?
What are your other goals that you're in the future? Where you want to go?
My other goals. Right now I'm working on my book. I'm going to do an illustration book to compile all the illustrations, not all, the best ones that I like and the people like in a book. Because so far I haven't had a book. If you search online, there's no books, there's nothing. Maybe some prints here and there, but there's nothing that people can buy. And I like to buy books. So I said maybe I think people might like to have something like that. And it will be like a full color plus sketches. And also thinking to do a smaller version of just sketches as well. So that will be after the illustration book. And from goals, I think I'm looking to get into the animation industry this year or next year. But I already have like projects with other clients for video games and stuff like that. So I'm already working on all the stuff like character designs for. And I'm drawing actually less girls and drawing more guys with guns and stuff like that. And it's funny because I have to put my style. And and there's a lot of projects going on in the future. And I just want to do it. Probably have like my own brand and do my own T-shirts and stuff like that. And now it's super easy with all the websites. You upload the design and then you can do T-shirts and all that. So I think it's a good time to do it. Before it was impossible to do something like that.
So what do you like doing more? Do you like doing your own work or working for clients and doing studio work? Or what are the advantages or disadvantages of those two?
I guess I like both, but I like working with clients because you have rules. You have rules and stuff you have to achieve to a certain level. You have deadlines and you have to make those, and you have to provide the quality. So it's more like the real deal, you know. So I think that clients are the good way to like push yourself to be more like professionally active. And for my own drawings, I do that to share. And I know when I get the book, then I can do something more commercial, like selling them and all that. So in both ways, you know, I get the freedom to do the drawings I want and share it, and I get the other side to do like projects that are exciting to me, like character design. And there's a bunch of character design that are not online because I'm still working on those, and all other ones I have done already, but they are still like the company owns. I have a contract, so I can show them and all that. But sometimes I disappear for a week or 2 weeks because I'm doing all of that online. I'm doing all those character designs and I show them. Sometimes I take a picture.
So are you going to keep up with your YouTube channel, and what are your plans for that?
Yeah, my YouTube channel, I have to focus a little bit more on that. I've been a little bit slow. I do my sketchbook videos because I'm always doing my sketches, so it's a good way to share. But I want to do more like the tutorial or like showing more like like interesting ways of drawing, or there's a few that are there about painting, Photoshop, like a few process or sketches that I've done so people can see like how I do my drawings. But yeah, I want to do something more specific for people who ask questions and expand it. In that, to do more on that side with the YouTube.
Cool. And in closing, do you have any advice for young artists that maybe they look at where you're at now and they think, I want to be doing that, that's like my goal of ending up there, and maybe they're just starting out, and what would you tell them?
Well, actually, I have met recently a lot of people who are starting drawing and they want to take that as a career, or they have an interest. And I tell them that the most important thing is to have to build like a little bit of confidence and drop all that negativity that comes with drawing. It always happens when I meet somebody. Yes, I'm drawing. Can I see your drawings? Like, no, I don't have it. I don't want to show it. I think it's not good. You know, that attitude doesn't help at all. At all. You have to take that and drop it. Get away of that negativity and don't think about other things. Just focus and say, yeah, I'm going to do a better drawing. I'm going to do this, or look at this artist. I'm going to do that, or you know, I found this technique. I'm gonna practice it. You have to be like really into that. Like, I like to study. I like to practice. You know, I don't see practice like, oh, I have to go and sit down and now I'm gonna spend 2 hours a day. No, you said I'm gonna practice, and I sometimes spend 3 hours, 4 hours practicing, and like I don't think about it as a practice. I think like I'm just having fun, learning something new, practicing what I know. So you know, it's the way you think. Like it helps you to be a better artist. You know. It's not only the skills, but the approach of how you feel and how you think. So that would be like my advice. Like, get that feeling of negativity or what people might think about my work, or I'm not ready yet. Or that's like a big wall you are building for yourself. You know? Nobody cares if you draw good or not. You have to do it because you want it, and then you will improve, obviously. And study. You know, you have to study. I guess that after dropping that negativity, you have to spend time like learning fundamentals, learning anatomy, gesture drawing, go to classes, take classes, invest in your education, don't think about it like, oh, it's too much money. I'd rather buy a PlayStation and play video games. I don't play many video games. I don't play that many, and sometimes I get it because I need to have a break, so I play a little bit. But focus on that and think about it. I see many people wasting their time. If they're really going to be into art, don't waste your time like doing stupid stuff, or I don't know, like people waste time doing like, I didn't do nothing today, just watching TV all day. That doesn't help at all. I guess you have to really invest in that education and save money to buy the stuff you need. People complain, oh, I don't have the money to buy a tablet or whatever. Just work, try to find a way and do it. Because I didn't have a tablet. I started with a mouse. All the time with a mouse. Then I got a tablet, and the tablet had like a wire connected to the pen. Really crappy one. Then I got a Graphire, and then I managed to get an Intel, but that happened in a long time. But I was focused on, I want to get something better, I want to do this, I want to invest on that. So that would be my advice. Like, focus on the fundamentals, throw away negativity, and invest in yourself and in learning and everything. Because you can find many things online, but things is difficult. You need to invest in like proper classes that will, like a professional artist can tell you, like, well, you have to find a good teacher to tell you, like, well, you have to do this and you have to do that, and those people like are the ones that are gonna help you the most. But there are so many videos and information online that I see sometimes books and I say, well, what is this book about? And I say, how to draw manga. And I check it and I was like, first, the drawings are horrible. They suck. And I was like, how can you learn from the drawing that sucks already? I wouldn't, those books I just close it, put it back, and this book is not good. Let me see the other one. Oh man, it has good drawings. No, they are the next one. So I guess that finding the right information is good. Then if you ask me what books or whatever, that always comes to me. I say Andrew Loomis is the best way. It's a little bit complex because there's all information from the 50s, 60s, and it can be rough for now, for like the times that we are now. But the information is there, fundamentals, like completely. That book, and there's another book called Drawn to Life. That's a book that people from Disney used to. No, that was the book that compiles all the information that the Disney artists were given when they were learning how to do life drawing, and they teach you the fundamentals like really clear. So if you find that information, then you will be able to judge like, oh well, this way of drawing is better, or this way of doing this is better.
Awesome. All right. Well,
Yeah,
that's really good advice. So I wanted to thank you again for taking time out of your day to enlighten us and share your story. And I'll make sure I include all the links to your work in the description of this video. So if you aren't familiar with Reiq's work, please check it out. And I think you'll like it, especially if you like girls, sexy girls, and guys with guns.
Yeah.
And everything else.
Yeah. Maybe.
Cool. All right. Thanks so much.